Good morning, BH12 Group 456. Sorry, we guys have missed about few classes, about 2 classes, which is chapter 4 and chapter 5. And I'm going to teach you chapter 4 and chapter 5 today on the online class. So make sure you just follow this. These 2 chapters are very simple, which is going to be site selection or your venue selection for mice management for any of your events, such as conference, or if you're going to have an exhibition, or if you're going to have any sort of an event. So how would you select a site or a venue? Okay, the learning objectives for this lesson will be to identify the factors influencing site selection for events, to comprehend the site selection process, and to conduct a scanning for site selection. Now, before you could actually go into the site selection, you will have to create a dummy program first of all to know what is your meeting program, and then only you will have to go based on your meeting program. This is going to look for example, if you're going to look for a location where you're going to have your venue, and then where you're going to have your meeting, and who are the people who are going to come in. If it's going to be a different country, how is it going to be? All these things have to be considered. And most importantly, the factors that needs to be considered for the site selection will be meeting size, organizational characteristics, transportation and accessibility, timing, cost, and free time activities. So if you look into the factors, all these factors will come in from your program agenda only. So basically you will have to set, okay, for example, if it's going to be a conference, then you're going to talk about how many days this conference is going to be. Whether it's going to be for 1 day or 2 days or 3 days. Are you going to have international delegates? Are you going to have local delegates coming in? And what will be their food? All these requirements, and where are they going to, and how are they going to move around, the transportation accessibility, and the outside contractors, the image, the outside assistance, size of the property, efficiency and service. And moving on, we will have to look into the meeting size. This basically talks about, okay, if your event is going to be for 100 people, you cannot choose a venue that is about 500. You need to choose a venue that can fit in 100 people only. If not, the venue for 500 people, of course, it's going to fit in for 100 people, but then you know that it's going to be very small. You guys will look very small in that big place, and you're going to pay more for the bigger venue. So you need to know the number of people and the organizational characteristics. What do you understand by that? Now, this one is going to refer to you about what are you going to decide. Some organizations prefer to have the meeting in their own venue, and therefore site selection is not required. Basically, any event that happens here in Taylor's, we do it in our own campus because we have so many venues around, right? So this all depends upon the organization. So who is going to conduct it, and what is the plan, right? And transportation accessibility, as the name implies, you need to know from one venue to another venue, how are you going to transport? Whether you're going to arrange special transportation for all these things have to be considered, all right? And moving further, the timing. Yeah, the timing. You will have to know whether it's going to be a 1-day event or 2 days event, and during a peak season, the cost of the meeting will be different, the accommodation, the venue, everything have to be decided. When you look at the timing, this will also influence your site selection. How? If you say it's going to be for a 2-day conference, and then you will say, right, the event is going to run throughout the night, and then you will have to book a venue beyond 6 o'clock as well, which means you're going to pay extra for it. And apart from it, you will also look for residential conferences wherein people will stay in the same hotel where the event is also going to happen, the conference is also going to happen. So you will have to look into the timing factor. That's how we're talking about timing. This will also include, like, during peak season, the cost of the meeting can go up as accommodation and venues will become more expensive. Yeah, when you talk about timing, it's not only the conference or your program timing, it's also depending upon which time of the year, whether it's going to be the beginning or the mid-year or towards the end of the year. Are you with me? Hello, are you with me? Okay, let's stay tuned. Moving further, if you look into this, the planner will also need to find out if similar meetings are held at the same destination, as it may affect the number of participants. Okay, now coming to the cost factor. Don't you know that cost is something very important? So it all depends upon what is the budget given to you for your event. All right. So overall cost of living of a city or destination has to be considered. Say for example, okay, now your Olympics was conducted, right? It was conducted in Brazil. So now you will have to look into the overall cost of living in that city and what is the transportation cost. In case if people are coming for the event, where will they go out and hang out during there's no event timing and all. So all these things needs to be considered when you choose a venue or a site. If the meeting program does not include dinners, then the expensive dinners offered at the location can create an impact on potential participants in choosing to attend the meeting. For example, you're going to conduct an event in KLCC, and which means that itself is opening out avenues for people to go around and have dinners and other meals if they want to, right? But if you're going to choose a very expensive venue wherein you don't give people a choice to go out and choose to buy their own meals, in that case you are creating a big problem, and people who are going to consider to come for your conference, they will have to relook at it. Okay, if I'm going to go for this conference, probably my breakfast and my lunch is covered, but what about my dinner? You don't expect me to go and buy from this mall, you don't expect me to go and order food in this hotel. It's going to be super duper expensive and I will not be able to buy. So this would actually consider, or it would actually affect my decision in choosing the venue. So all these things need to be considered. Okay, apart from it, you will also need to choose your free time activities. All right, if it's going to be a 2 days event or 3 days event, if you are going to allocate timing, okay, it's going to be free and easy, which means about 2 hours or 3 hours, you let them free, right? You don't have any program on the agenda, right? And then you expect them to do something, right? So this is going to be based upon your venue again. If you're located in an island, you don't expect people to go for snorkeling during the free time, right? But apart from it, apart from your conference, probably the second half of the day, you just let them go free and then they can do any such kind of activities. Shopping can be a part of it, and going around places can be a part of it. Conference tour can be a part of it. So you must consider all these things before you choose a venue. Some sites or some venues do come up with some team building activities wherein you engage a lot of your conference participants to go and be a part of this event, right? So all these things need to be considered. And outside contractors, this is important when you engage people for florists, decorators, stagings, and costuming and entertainment providers. All these people need to know where is this going to happen, right? How am I going to reach? So all these people should be in and around your venue when you actually choose a venue. All right, image, right? This is also again depending upon where you're going to have, and the venue itself would set an image. For example, you talk about KLCC, right? Wow, that's a very big venue. The image is already set by the venue itself, right? So all these things you need to consider when you talk about site selection. And of course, you have outside assistants like the florists and the decorators. You have people who would like to come and sponsor for the event, and they also must know where is your venue selection. Sometimes people who sponsor your event, they will come up with your ideas. Sometimes you have platinum sponsor, gold sponsor. They will say, why don't you choose this venue? Because this is very convenient for us to come, and this is a very good selection. So you must consider all those people as well, their choices. The size of property, of course, as I told you, if it's going to be a residential conferences, you will have to look into rooms for your delegates. Then you will have to look for the number of rooms, the number of people coming in. Again, this is based on your number of people attending. Efficiency in services, of course, you need to know, I'm going to pay this much of money. Do I get the value? The value for money, is it there? The efficiency in service, is it there? So all these things are based on your previous records, right? And then you will have to know, or if this venue is already been serving as a good venue, in that case, I know for sure that all this efficiency in service and all, I will not going to have any problem, all right? And then I've given you some examples, if you can see on the screen, These are the general property checklist. You have to go run through general guest room checklist, exhibit space checklist, function room checklist. All right. So basically, what do you understand by site selection? First of all, identify your meeting objectives, gather historical data from your previous events, determine the physical requirements, the number of people coming in, what do you require, what are the stage show you're going to have, whether you want to lighting facilities, the projector facilities, Wi-Fi requirements. Fourth, consider attendee expectations, select a general area and type of facility, prepare a request for proposal, review and evaluate choices, select the site. Prepare and review for request for proposal, meaning you need to choose a site and then you have to see all these things, the function checklist that I just showed you. You have to keep all these things in your mind and then choose a venue. All right. Although it's a 2 hours class, I finished it in 11 minutes because it's a very simple topic. So don't worry that you missed the class. You just run through this video and look into my pretty face and then you will be able to understand the topic better. All right. Any questions? No questions? Okay, Miss, how am I going to ask you questions? You're just playing it recorded la. All right. I'm going to give you a discussion forum. If you have any questions about this topic, do write into the discussion forum. I will be able to reply to you on the discussion forum and we will take it from there. Thank you. See you tomorrow in class. Yes, today is Tuesday, the October 4th. So tomorrow is Wednesday. I will meet you in class. Thank you.